So far, in Blow Your Own Sail, there are no flaws in Newton's laws. The forward thrust captured by the sails has an equal and opposite thrust, forwards and backwards, leaving the boat grounded. But it's not over yet. The team thinks tweaking the variables might get things moving.
So we're going to do all sorts of experiments. We're going to try different sails, we're going to try different winds, and we're going to see if we can actually blow your own sail.
With the fan, sail and boat all in proportion, everything is cancelled out. So they're starting by making their small-scale sail smaller.
Now, you're probably asking yourself, why are you guys testing a small sail? But if you look to the graphic, you'll see what I think is going to happen. I think that the wind is going to actually get around the small sail and push the sailboat backwards.
Now, given what we've seen so far, it may seem surprising to you that we think the boat is going to travel backwards. Now, there's a lot of thrust coming off of this prop. If the size of the sail is small compared to the source of the wind, you may get some of that thrust escaping around the edges of the sail, giving us a net thrust pushing the boat backwards.
Please don't laugh at the size of my sail.
It's cute.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, look at that. It cancels itself out.
All right, you know what? Should we turn up the speed?
Sure.
Yeah, let's try it, see what happens.
Whoa!
It's
That
going
was
backwards.
It seems that if the sail contains all of the fan's thrusts, the boat is marooned, but tweak the sail size and fan speed and you start moving. However, they're heading in the wrong direction. To reverse that, maybe they need to go bigger.
For the next test, we've stepped up the size of the sail. But to do that, we also had to raise the fan so that the airstream hits right into the center of our sail. Hopefully, this will propel the boat.
Ready when you are.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's not going forward at all. The forces are still canceling each other out.
Can you dial it up?
Going to 100%.
Whoa, that's looking scary.
It's starting to go. It's starting to go.
Faster. Moving forward. Hey! With faster wind speeds, you can blow your own sail.
All right, look, I'm not a sailor and I'm not an aeronautical engineer, but this is what I think is happening. So, the fan provides a certain amount of thrust that blows into the sail. The sail, in turn, can only absorb so much of that thrust. The rest of it gets reflected back, leaving us with a net thrust vector, causing the boat to go forward.
The reflection means the sum of the total thrust is in a forward direction.
So you just need a lot more wind.
A lot more.
What is the most wind we can produce? What's the biggest fan we can use?
Jet engine.
Yeah, that
Now
would
you're
be
talking.
awesome. What a great proof of concept, though. So we are moving on to a jet cap model turbine engine. This thing can make a model plane fly at 250 miles an hour. It puts out 17.5 pounds of thrust. This is going to give us the wind speeds that we need. But first, what I need to do is mount this engine to our longboard skateboard. And the reason why we're using a longboard skateboard is because this thing puts out so much heat. We got to keep our sail away from the source.
And speaking of heat,
So one of the problems with upgrading our source of thrust to a jet engine is that the exhaust gases can be in excess of 600 degrees Celsius. Now, this is silk. This is the ideal material we found for our small-scale experiment. The only problem with silk is that when you expose it to flame, this happens.
so while Grant looks into flame-resistant sail materials, Tori gets busy with the sailboard build. Just like before, they'll be on land using wheels rather than on water in a boat. With the baby jet engine on board, it's over to Grant.
Okay, so this is flame-resistant material. This is a 6061 aluminum frame, which has a melting temperature above that of the jet exhaust. This is the kind of sail you're going to need if you're going to use a jet engine to blow yourself along.
The jet-powered sailboard is done. Now to give it a run. There are not many places you can fire off a jet engine, but a creepy abandoned naval base is one.
This thing looks dangerous.
Yeah, I think we need to ride it before we test. What do you think?
Ride a jet-powered skateboard.
Yeah, are you guys dying to do it?
Not really, but I would enjoy another decade of watching you fall off this thing in slow motion. It worked for the bicycle.
Coming up this Christmas, Tori's jetpack skateboard. They're totally safe. So before we start doing the experiment, I want to test this engine. So I've turned the engine around, that way I can ride it and I won't burn my butt.
Unfortunately for Tori, our health insurance actually covers a full body cast.
Kind of getting nervous, I don't know why.
So if anything untoward should happen, he'll be covered.
What could possibly go wrong? I got a jet engine strapped to the skateboard.
All right, firing it up. Medic standing by. Somebody dial 911.
On his jet-powered skateboard is Tori, about to take a trip back to the future. Or at least, back to A&E.
Oh my God, it works! Every kid's gonna want one of these for Christmas.
Now, that was a good test. I mean, what that tells me is that the jet engine, which, mind you, is only this big, provides enough thrust to carry Tori, who weighs 175 pounds, on top of the skateboard. Now, if we replace Tori with the sail, I think we're gonna have plenty of thrust for our experiment.
Now, proving the concept of this myth wasn't enough for us. I mean, we had a small scale and we proved that wind could push our sail. But the point of this is you need to escape the doldrums. So to do that, you need adequate speed. And I think this jet engine is going to give us adequate speed.
All right, this is extreme blow your own sail.
Do it.
Oh, I love this sound. Come on, baby. Come on. Gotta love that sound.
That worked perfectly. The jet engine was powerful enough to overcome the canceling forces, and we got our sailboat to move forward. Hey, we did it! We blew our own sail. Nice.
Next step's gonna be fun.
Full scale, baby.
And back at the shop, they've taken delivery of just the thing, a boat with a built-in fan.
So we are gonna take this myth full scale, and this is the boat we're gonna use. It is a shallow water spider swamp boat, and this thing comes with a fan, which is attached to a 40 horsepower engine that's capable of putting out 200 pounds of thrust. We're gonna take this fan, flip it around, put up a mast, put up a sail, and see if we can blow our own sail.
It was dragging me. It was actually pulling me off my feet. I think this is gonna do it.
With Grant measuring wind speeds of 100 kilometers per hour, this puppy is clearly powerful enough, which means it's time to take delivery of the sail and get busy with the rigging.
Okay, now that we have the sail, it's time to erect the mast. Now we're making it out of aluminum because it's lightweight and has a really high tensile strength. But we're making a removable base completely out of steel. We want to clamp onto the boat instead of drilling or welding because it's a borrowed boat and it's gorgeous.
Against all odds, our team of landlubbers has built its own square sail from scratch.
Faster, go faster. Woo!
Ready to blow your sail?
Yeah, I don't have enough wind.
To find out if it'll go when the fan blows, it's time to take this test down to the waterline.
We found ourselves a lake that's completely isolated, so we have no current and no wind. This should be the perfect place to experiment.
And the perfect place for a pre-test joyride. With the throttle full on, the team thrashes around getting their bearings and getting a feel for the swamp boat's fan-powered thrust. It handles beautifully.
Love it.
But will it sail? The next classic Hollywood sound effect to get the Mythbusters treatment is the gun silencer. And down at the San Francisco Police Department shooting range, the boys mean business. Cue sound scientist Dr. Roger Schwenke. With several previous experiences on the show, he gets the much sought-after title of Honorary Mythbuster.
Stir the pot, baby.
And today, he brought along his laboratory-grade recording and analysis equipment.
We want to see whether these things actually make the same sounds in real life that they do in the movies, or do they make any sound at all? How do these silencers work? Well, they're kind of like mufflers on cars. They've got a series of baffles in them that sort of slow down and redirect the gases that are passing through and absorb a lot of the energy and the sound. It's kind of like opening a champagne bottle. If you pop that cork really quickly, you get quite a pop. If you do it really slowly and gently, all you get is a hiss.
That's how silencers silence. But apart from silencing, there are other benefits.
Look, we would be remiss if we didn't explain that this is not an assassin's tool. Actually, military and law enforcement love suppressors for 4 main reasons. The extra weight out at the front of the gun actually reduces both muzzle lift and the recoil of the gun, making it easier to aim and stay on target. It does actually reduce the sound and the concussion, the blast of the bullet, and it also reduces the muzzle flash to 0, all of which makes this a safer and easier weapon to use.
Right, let's get down to testing. First up, Adam and Jamie take aim at a baseline.
First, we are going to fire an unmodified pistol at the target.
And 3, 2, 1.
Then we're going to put a silencer on that gun and shoot again at the target and compare the silenced round sound to the original gun sound and to the movie sound effect of a silencer. I'm holding a silenced pistol. It's just as cool as you think it is.
Now, for the suppressor. Is the movie version anything like reality?
Thank you.
Do silencers work as well in real life as they do on film?
That's nice.
That was pretty cool. That seemed a lot quieter than I thought it would.
And Jamie's 9mm pistol is equally surprising. It's an impressive improvement, but for analysis, let's hear from our expert acoustician. First, decibels, a measure of intensity of the sound pressure.
So we go from 161 and then suppressed we go down to 128. That's a big change. That goes from dangerous to your hearing to safe.
But it's not just the power. The texture and time signature of the sound is also altered.
There's a very sharp, loud impulse. Then when you put the suppressor on, the initial sound is spread out more in time.
Wow. Can we hear him?
Here's the unsuppressed.
Okay, now let's hear suppressed.
Yeah, that tells the story.
And it's a story worth hearing again. And it's also a story with a surprise ending.
I swear, I went into this one thinking this would be completely busted. I'm kind of blown away.
But what about the all-important movie version? How does that stack up?
Can we hear the Hollywood sound?
Yeah, sure.
Dude, that is far out.
Far out indeed, and although it's not quite identical, the real-life suppressor does reduce the volume of the gunshot to Hollywood levels.
Do silencers actually suppress the sound of a bullet as much as they seem to in the movies, and specifically make that sound?
Well, actually, they come pretty darn close, don't they?
They do. We got to call this one plausible.
Yep.
I'm amazed. Nice shooting, Tex.
You too.
Okay, so here's the plan. We've got our full-size fan boat and our full-size sail. We'll get out on the water and try it first in its regular configuration with the fan facing backward. And we'll turn it on and hopefully go forward. Then, we're going to flip the fan around, raise the sail. All right, we're in. And see if you can actually